What's up guys, I'm J-Rod of BATTLEBRAWLERproductions, and thank you guys so much for clicking on the channel. You're probably wondering, hey, why am I seeing you? Is this a vlog? No, I'm gonna call this Battle Brawler Unplugged because this was a rough video to film. Not in the sense that it was a pain to do the illustration, not that it was annoying to do. Problem with this video is that I filmed it completely and then somehow all the footage got corrupt. Not just individual parts, like the entire footage. It was completely unsalvageable. I spent like 5 hours trying to get it back and I just couldn't. I'm still trying to figure out what the problem was. I don't know if it was my camera, I don't know if my laptop, I don't know if it was an encoding issue, I don't know what happened, but I lost the footage. And instead of just redoing the video and pretending like it didn't happen, or just redoing the video and saying that I lost only the time-lapse footage, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, it all got corrupted, and I thought it'd be really cool to go in and actually talk about this ink in a kind of chill, no drawing, just kind of talking about it way, because I do have things to say about this, and as a whole, really Dr. P.H. Martin's too. So the Dr. P.H. Martin's Spectra lite Private Collector Liquid Acrylic, probably the longest named ink I've ever mentioned on this channel, and it's okay. Truly don't think it's the worst acrylic ink I've ever used, but it's far from the best. This was the illustration I did with this, and I like it. It's an older illustration. I penciled this probably 2 years ago, and while I don't think it's perfect, I had a lot of fun doing the work. My only main complaint with this ink is that it just had trouble layering, which is weird because it's acrylic based, and acrylic's really good at layering. The thing was, if you look really close at this illustration, you're going to see areas where the black is more gray, and it's not as solid as I would like. And that's an issue for me because I really like inks that give me an absolute black, and there are a lot of times where I had to go in and refill the area. It worked great with a dip pen, it worked great with a quill nib, and it was phenomenal to use with a brush. It's just that I had areas peeking through more and more as the ink dried, so I'd have to go over it and work in layers, and it was just kind of annoying for me to do. I didn't like that. And while sometimes that does happen with Sumi inks, it happened far more and frequently and far worse with this illustration. This ink sells for $10.99 for 1 fluid ounce, and that's really expensive compared to other options. For example, De La Roni tends to sell for $8.79 to as little as $6 depending on where you go for 1 fluid ounce. Amsterdam is $6.99 to $4.99 depending on where you go for 1 fluid ounce. And Liquitex tends to sell for $5.99 anywhere up to $7.99 depending on where you go for 1 fluid ounce. So not a good deal. So you're paying more for less quality. And looking at this ink, I can't help but kind of look at all of the P.H. Martin inks that I've tested so far because they're not that good. There's 2 of them that are amazing, but they're okay. They're not the most spectacular ink. They're not inks that I can recommend to everyone. The only 2 Dr. P.H. Martin's inks I can recommend 100% is the bleed proof white ink because it is absolutely phenomenal cleanup work, and the Hydrus because it is one of the best watercolor inks I've ever used. I can even somewhat recommend the Bombay white ink because it's decent with a dip pen. I was actually really impressed with the quality of this considering it's so much more liquidy than the bleed proof white ink. But all the other inks they make, I really find myself looking at them like there are such better options out there. There is no reason to use them. For example, the Black Star series are okay quality India inks. They're definitely, in my opinion, not professional with how problematic they can be with a dip pen and a brush. And at the end of the day, yeah, that is personal preference, but that's what I have to say about them. They're a company I want to like more because they do so much for inking, but their products are just okay. 6 Cartoonist Sumi ink is my second favorite ink of all time. It is my favorite ink to use for mixed media artwork, and still to this day, the Winsor & Newton Black India ink is my favorite ink of all time that I recommend to everyone. Overall, I was really disappointed with the quality of this ink. I really thought it would be something just more amazing. I was really hoping for a higher quality, but once again, I was just kind of left disappointed with Dr. P.H. Martin's. And because of that, I'm actually going to give this a rating of 4 on my scale of 1 to 10. Using it itself, it was okay. I got good line whiz, it was smooth to use, it flowed off the pen well, but it didn't layer well, which is a really huge knock against acrylic inks because that's the whole point of them, in my opinion, is the layering and the acrylic techniques you can employ in your ink work. And there are so many other more affordable and better quality options out there. Again, it's not terrible, it's not the worst, but it doesn't do anything that makes me say you have to get it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this unplugged version of the show because I was not going to film an entire new episode with this ink. If it was something that I really liked and really enjoyed, I definitely would have. Like, if all the footage got corrupted for this ink, you know I would be filming a new episode because the FW ink is my absolute favorite acrylic ink. Same thing with Amsterdam, but the Dr. P.H. Martin just once again left me disappointed, and that really sucks because I really want to like them. But that's, again, my opinion, and I'd love to hear you guys in the comments section down below. Both of the artwork and this format, do you guys like these more chilled, lean back, shorter videos, or do you guys want me to keep doing the longer formatted videos? Always love to hear your guys' feedback. But with that said, thank you again for watching, and subscribe to the channel for more art and animation-based content. Remember, I'm J-Rod of BATTLEBrawlerproductions, and I draw power in my own soul.